A lot I don't know. I am nervous and I'm not perfect. I am worried. I am excited. This is what I've been looking forward to my entire life. I do know I am a warrior. Very difficult, but very rewarding to ignite my heart to surgery. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Thiago and I'm a third-year medical student studying at the University of Ottawa. And today for this video, it's just going to be a really casual video. I just want to kind of bring you up to speed in terms of what my expectations are going into clerkship. Last week, I posted a vlog showing you our link block, our transition. And this upcoming week, I'm going to actually be in the wards, starting with pediatrics. And this week's going to be the newborn week. So I'm going to be looking at a lot of babies, doing physical exams, talking to parents, and so I'm looking forward to it. But with that, I am nervous, and so I wanted to share with you my expectations, some of my worries, and just really humanize myself and be vulnerable with you, share with you what I'm worried about, because I'm not perfect. I have flaws, and there are things that I want to improve and get better at. And another thing is that I think it'd be cool if within 2-3 years, I look back on this video and reflect on how much I've grown. So a couple of things I want to split up into different categories. The three categories I want to talk about are academically, relationally, and experientially. Before we get into those categories, I want to just talk to the camera, talk to you as if I'm vlogging, just kind of processing my thoughts. And I'm looking forward to this year. I am worried. I am excited because we're going to be seeing patients, taking history, doing physical exams, and actually this is what I've been looking forward to my entire life, ever since I was a young kid in elementary school and I dreamed of becoming a doctor. This is part of that journey of seeing patients, being part of their healing journey, and just being involved. So this is going to be surreal. I think hopefully this is going to kind of reignite or kindle that spark that I had at the beginning of first year, but it dwindles down as you study a lot and you just grind every single day. You lose sight of it, and with this pandemic, you lose sight of it even more. And so I'm really hoping that this third year is a breath of fresh air. I know it's going to be challenging. I don't expect it to be easy or smooth, but I hope that it does kind of reignite those initial flames. With that being said, I have talked to a lot of third-year medical students. I watch other people's YouTube channels and vlogs, and I see the work that you have to put into it to really do well and experience the most benefits and learn. And so those are some of the things that kind of go through my mind, and I tend to worry a lot more than the average person. I mean, I can't really know that, but I do know I am a warrior. If you're familiar with the Enneagram personality test, I was talking with some people this week, and I land around a 6, and that personality does tend to struggle with some anxiousness and nervousness around certain things in life, but I've learned to overcome those and kind of manage that to do well in life. So that's some of the things that I've been thinking about. Now let's focus specifically on the academic part of clerkship. Academically, there's going to be a lot to balance, a lot to juggle, because now I'm going to be working full-time basically every day of the week, sometimes even a weekend when I'm on call. So I'm going to be working in the wards. I have to come home and study. I'm also married, so I have to be able to prioritize time for my wife. I can't just ignore her. That's one of the biggest commitments I've made in my life, and so I want to love her well throughout this entire process, even though there will be nights where I just can't, or I won't have the energy to care for her the way I desire to and the way she needs it. But that's something that we've been talking about. So academically, just balancing all that's going to be challenging. It's definitely doable. I'm not the only person who's married. We have classmates who have kids, and he's doing amazing. So it's definitely doable, but it is something in the back of my mind. The OSCEs are going to be interesting because now they start building up, piling things on top. It's not just one specific system, it's building on systems. So patients are very complex and have multiple organs. And so I think that the OSCEs are going to have multiple systems meshed in there. So you really got to start to know what to look for, the signs, the symptoms, and the treatment plan that I have to suggest at the end of a station. So just kind of seeing that, I think as I prepare, it's gonna be very difficult, but in reflecting on that, I think it'd be really cool to see how far I've come in building those fundamental skills and being able to perform the history and physical exams. Another part for the academic section is that so far we've only been memorizing things, understanding the theory. We have been taught how to diagnose, how to treat, but now that we're going to be part of the healthcare team and part of the patient care, we're going we'd have a better idea of how to treat patients. And so this is where the practical skills start coming in, and we start solidifying all the theory that we've learned in the past 2 years. So I'm looking forward to that part. Now, moving on to the second category, and it's relational aspect of medicine. And so I'm kind of neutral on this part, but I acknowledge that, for the first 2 years, you get to hang out with some friends. You get to hang out with friends and study with them, especially pre-pandemic times. You could study at school, you can do the OSCEs together or just prepare for the OSCEs. And so you got to chat with a lot more friends and really bounce ideas off each other and learn. Now, I didn't even do that too much during the pandemic, even less. We kind of got together with 3 or 4 people in that class and studied for the exam a couple days before, but that's the extent of it. But I do expect that in clerkship, I'm gonna have a lot less time than I did in my first 2 years. That kind of worries me because I do like to be social. I do like to take time off and chat with friends, hang out. We usually do that after church, but now I'm gonna have to be a lot more specific in how I take care of my time, how I use my time. And now that I'm married, I also want to prioritize spending time with my wife. And in order to get to know each other better, we have to be able to go through experiences, go out and have fun, socialize with friends, do different activities. And so those are things that maybe we'll have to put on the sidelines or maybe not do as much this year or in upcoming years until I'm a doctor. But one of the good things is that Jess and I are both super intentional in our marriage. And so we always look forward to how can we structure our lives, our mornings or evenings around our schedules so that we still can see each other and chat at the end of the day or the beginning of the day before we get too caught up in our jobs or studying. Now, moving on to the third category is just talking about the experiences of third year that are coming up. And this is going to be fun and daunting at the same time. As I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, there's going to be a lot of challenges that come with learning and being the youngest learner in the healthcare team. As I said before, it's amazing. It's a dream come true to be able to talk to patients, to be part of their healthcare. And hopefully I'll be able to see a patient from admission to discharge and see really amazing results. I think that would really ignite my heart, ignite my passion for healthcare and keep me going and studying even harder. But I also know that on the other side, as a learner, I am going to be humbled a lot because there's a lot I don't know. I'm going to suggest treatments to the preceptor and he's going to tell me flat out, nope, you're wrong. I could get some preceptors that are a little bit more stingy, a little bit more strict. I might step on some toes as I'm learning and fumbling across the wards. And so as much as that is part of learning as a kid, is learning to kind of function in society, to function in a family, children need to be corrected and rebuked. And just like that, if I mess up, if I stumble, I do expect a doctor to correct me and tell me that I am wrong, but this is the solution. And that's not always the easiest thing to kind of experience, even though you know it's coming, even though you know it's coming from a good motive and the doctor wants the best. Nobody likes to be corrected or rebuked, but I'm looking forward to the growth aspect of it and kind of reflecting. I just really hope that like a really strict preceptor, but that's out of my hands. I think one of the things that I'm hearing from 30 years, 4th years, whoever it is giving me advice is just show up, be nice, be a good person, ask to help, be proactive. And so that's what I can control. And I always tell students in my program that what you have to do is control what you can't, right? Ask yourself, if you can't change something, if you have no control over a certain area of your life, then don't stress about it. So I can't control who my preceptor is. I can't control how they act. So my goal is really just to be level-headed, confident, study a lot and make sure I know the notes. I make sure I know the treatments, the plans, but beyond that, I can't do much else. And so that is one thing that I am slightly worried about, but I'm okay with receiving a talking to just because I expect to mess up here and there. So there are 3 experiences that I picked that I'm looking forward to. Now it was kind of challenging to narrow down on 3, but I just kind of picked whatever came to mind first. So this is the first one, and I mentioned it before. It's being able to admit a patient and then discharge the patient and see that patient be healed throughout that entire process. So that's the first experience I'm really looking forward to. The second experience is going to be able to deliver a baby, to see brand new life be born into this world. I think there's nothing else like it. It's very extraordinary. It's very amazing and wonderful. And so I want to be able to experience that. And this upcoming week, I'm going to be able to see the neonates who just entered this life. And so that's going to be interesting as well. And the third experience that I wrote down that I'm looking forward to is being able to stabilize a patient in emergency, because you never know what's coming in through the door, and I'm expecting some type of trauma accident to happen while I'm in emerge. This year or next year, I'm going to be in emergency for a while, even as a family doctor. And so I think to be able to be part of the team that stabilizes the patient, makes sure they're alive, and then recovers the patient, recuperates their life and their health, would be a very unique experience. There's so much more, like suturing, which is simple, but I really love suturing and other things, but those are the top three that kind of came to my mind. One last thing that I wanted to share with you is that I'm looking forward to this year and how it's going to shape my mind in regards to what specialties I'm interested. So I've always been interested in family medicine. I have considered different types of surgery like orthopedic surgery, ophthalmology, but I don't really want to go into surgery. So my number one specialty in mind right now is family medicine, but I do wonder if third year and fourth year are going to change that just from the experiences that I'm going to have. And I do want to do some more subspecialization or extra training in family medicine. You can guess what that's going to be down in the comments below, but I am curious to see how third and fourth year are going to shape the person I am and maybe guide my trajectory in terms of what specialty I pick. Anyways, I hope this video has been fun for you to watch, just to kind of get an inside peek in terms of what I'm processing, what my mind is thinking about. I will be sharing more of my experience through Instagram and through vlogs. I just want to make this video just to kind of bring you up to date in terms of what I'm looking forward to and exactly what I'm nervous about. Like, there's so many things, and one of the things that I forgot to mention in the beginning is that with Clerkship, there's a lot more administrative things. I gotta stay on top of emails, logs, evaluations, and whatnot, but I don't want to make this a complaining video. This is all part of the process, and I'm looking forward to it. I just wanted to bring it to the surface. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.